This is a lineup of the 16 men and women who since the year 1900 held the Guinness World Records title for being the tallest living human being. As you can see, yes, there are mostly men, but there are two rare exceptions when women have held the record. The holder of this record today is Sultan Kosen of Turkey at 251 centimetres high. That's 8'3", and even taller, the holder of the record, the all-time tallest living human being, is Robert Pershing Wadlow at 272 centimetres or 8'11". Officially amazing. This is the delightful Esperanza Thwarzina, the world's most tattooed woman of all time. She has 99.98% of her skin covered in tattoo ink, from the top of her head straight down to the soles of her feet, and including all that thin skin between the toes. Ouch. But not just that, Esperance is also the world's most modified woman. She has 89 different punctures, piercings and subdermal implants. Even her tongue is forked. This is the 6'10" tall Eric Kilburn Jr. of the USA. He holds the Guinness World Records title for having the largest hands and the largest feet on a teenager. His hands measured just over 9 inches long, that's 23.2 centimetres, and his feet even longer, 34.3 centimetres or 1 foot 1.5 inch. One of the biggest challenges Eric faces is finding shoes to fit, and no surprise when your size is a US 23. This is the extraordinary Halima Cisse and her husband Abdel Kar with their 9 children. What makes this family really remarkable is that mother Halima gave birth to all 9 children in one go. Yes, it's the Guinness World Records title for the most children delivered at a single birth. Halima thought she was having 7 children, which is remarkable enough. So imagine her surprise when she had non-uplids. This is the sensational Joseph Tutling of Austria. He's a multiple Guinness World Records title holder in his capacity as a fire stunt performer. He appears in the Guinness World Records 2025 book for his ability to bicycle while burning. Yes, it's the full body bicycle distance record. He covers 200 metres in just under 50 seconds. So Joseph is allowed to wear a little bit of protective fire retardant gel, but still. Talk about blazing saddles. Oh. This is nonagenarian bodybuilder Jim Arrington from the USA. He was born in 1932 and at the age of 15 began lifting weights. He was called Skinny Bones at school and wanted to beef up a little bit. He soon began entering competitions, and now in his 90s he's still competing, earning himself the Guinness World Records title for the world's oldest bodybuilder. This is the very determined Sabrina Dousman of the USA. She shares her home with more than 1,500 Squishmallows. She fell in love with the cuddly toy back in 2018 when she first came across Fern, the Valentine fox, in her local Walmart. Well, here we are 6 years later and she's still collecting and now has the Guinness World Records title for having the largest collection of Squishmallows. Her favourite Squishmallow is probably Sam the dog, a floppy-eared brown squishmallow that reminds her of her own pet dog Luca from childhood. Oh. This is the Hoops Désolé circus troupe from Quebec in Canada, demonstrating one of their most audacious tricks. It's the most people to jump through the same hula hoop, and what makes this Guinness World Records title so difficult is that the first jumper has to throw the hula hoop backwards, meaning pinpoint accuracy and split-second timing. It certainly puts a new spin on the hula hoop. This may look like a car sinking in quicksand, but it is in fact a perfectly road-legal vehicle. It's the handiwork of a group of friends in Italy called Carmageddon, and at just 59.5 centimetres high, or just under 2 foot, it holds the Guinness World Records title for being the world's shortest drivable car top. Amazingly, this chopped-in-half Fiat Panda can accommodate a driver, and indeed, to set the record, he had to drive the car for 100 metres. Amazing. That's a low rider. This is the world's largest structure ever built from just playing cards. The 15-year-old Arnav Daga used 143,000 cards to recreate some of the iconic buildings of his home city of Kolkata in India. So no glue and no support structures, and yet he still built towers up to 11 foot tall. It's incredible. And how did he celebrate? Well, let's just say he really threw himself into it.
What's about? Plant. Bottle.
This is Apollo, the African grey parrot that can squawk out the names of objects placed in front of him.
What's this called?
Sock.
That's right, sock.
He's been trained by his owners to say so many words
Book. Plant. Rock.
that he now has the vocabulary of a 3-year-old human child.
Royal.
What's about?
Bottle. Oh.
Yes, ball.
For the most objects identified by a parrot in 3 minutes, Apollo named correctly 12 different objects, making him officially amazing.
What am I doing? What am I doing?
Hat.
Yes, hat. Good job, Apollo.
This is Alden Maxwell, a teenager from Canada who probably has one of the steadiest hands on the planet. Alden has this amazing ability to stack Jenga pieces, hundreds of them, on a single upright piece. In fact, building giant structures with more than 1,800 blocks to set a Guinness World Records title. Alden credits his ability to build like this to being on the autistic spectrum, and there's even been a movie made about him. I bet it will be a blockbuster.